Jimmy Bell actually practicing with the WVU football team currently this week. You know, 6'10", 285 Jimmy Bell, starting center for the basketball team. Actually was 300 plus pounds. I think when he came in, he lost about, 80 pounds when he came in over the offseason, heading into the basketball season to get into playing shape. But prior to that, he was a football recruit, actually as an offensive lineman. According to the 247 composite, as you see here on this article on 247sports.com, as this news originally broke from Mike Kazaza, Bell was a 3-star offensive tackle in the 2018 recruiting class when he played his first 2 high school seasons at Arthur Hill High School. He picked up early offers from Akron and Eastern Michigan, but was also receiving interest from Michigan and Michigan State, where he took unofficial visits. Started 34 games for the Mountaineers this past season, averaged about 5 points and 5 rebounds, shot 55% from the floor. Basketball coach Bob Huggins repeatedly complimented Bell's footwork relative to his height and weight, which he said Bell used as an asset when playing football. What Neil Brown said about the addition of Jimmy Bell, as you see here, this also comes from 247 Sports, this one from Chris Anderson rather than Mike Kazaza. Neil Brown said, Big Jimmy is on trial with us. Coach Huggins and I had a talk at the end of March, and obviously you all know and followed as much as I do. There have been successful transitions for long guys. We talked and agreed to kind of make April a trial run. 2 weeks he did drills. He started Tuesday and practices Tuesday and Thursday. He'll have his third practice Saturday and practice through the spring game. But when I say it's a trial run, it's really a trial run. Neil Brown continues. He played football in high school before he went to Arizona in prep school. Obviously, he has great length. He's got size. He's got the demeanor y'all saw in basketball. He's physical in basketball. I don't really have any expectations for him, but it's a trial run. We'll see at the end of the month. He's got to make a decision on what he wants to do and if he can, and if he wants to go to basketball, and if he wants to go to basketball, he definitely can. And we've got to make a decision. Can he help us? Bell started all 34 games for the Mountaineers basketball team this season, averaging 5 points and 5 rebounds. As I've already talked about. But the interesting fact here to talk about with this Jimmy Bell news, I think, that hasn't got as much press, I think, with this, is that if he came back for basketball, it would be him using his kind of COVID year, his final year of eligibility, if you will, right? But if he decides to transition over to the football side, become a scholarship player or whatever, he has 2 years of eligibility remaining in football. And so to me, that stands out a lot, because I think if he had only 1 year, I'm like, I don't know if you make this move. But I think for West Virginia football, why not? Give him a year to develop. You know, he's probably not going to play this year, but you put him through a whole season with Mike Joseph plus an off season. Next year, who knows? He could wind up on your 2 deep on the offensive line at the tackle position there in his final year of eligibility. I think he's got that type of potential. He's got great size, of course, as I said, 6'10", and that's already, that's one thing I stated in our CRW group chat, was even if he's on the team, 6'10" looks intimidating coming off the bus to opposing teams, right? So he's going to put on a little bit more of that weight that he took off probably. He's, as Huggins has said, and we all know that's been the thing, he's got great feet. Jimmy's got great feet. So if he's athletic enough, I think he could factor in a tackle. And with 2 years of eligibility, I think it's a win-win for both parties, both Jimmy Bell, WVU basketball, WVU football, for him to try and choose to stick with football. Like Neil Brown said there in that article, he's got, kind of a month to make a decision of if he wants to do this or not. I hope that he does, and I hope that he chooses to stick with it, because in my opinion, if he chooses to go play basketball, I don't know if there's going to be a scholarship there for him. So he's probably going to have to pay his own way. But if he chooses to go football, he may have to pay his own way for a little bit there as well. But he could wind up with a football scholarship, have a year of development, and the next year possibly be a role player versus being on the basketball team this year. He's not going to be a starter next season, especially if West Virginia adds either John Hewley or Jesse Edwards. And maybe even if they don't add either one of them, he wouldn't be a starter next season, and probably not going to be a scholarship there for him. So in my opinion, I say let's see what this football move does. Stick with it, Jimmy, and I hope you do. But I wish Jimmy Bell the best of luck, whether he chooses to stick with football or play basketball. And someone mentioned he could potentially play both. There's a little bit of overlap of the sports, but if he's on scholarship for football, that could be a way for Bob Huggins to have him on the basketball roster and not use the scholarship up as well. So